One of the things it's really important for a coach to do at the start of a coaching conversation is to identify which of the 4 goal defining techniques is most appropriate to use. And this means listening and watching for a few clues. And if we remind ourselves that there are 4 to choose from, we have SMART goals, qualitative goals, umbrella goals, and visioning. Okay, I'm going to invite Natalie to throw a few past me, just examples of typical things that people might say if they were asked the question, what would you like some help with? And I will see how quickly I can spot them, and I'll give you a few tips about how to spot them. So let's start off. First one, Natalie, what would you like some help with?
Planning a trip.
Planning a trip is likely to be a SMART goal, because there's going to be something that we'll have as a piece of evidence. It'll either be a plan or we'll have an agreed date by when something will happen. Okay, next one.
Saving money.
Saving money, also likely to be a SMART goal, because we will measure the amount of money, the quantity to be saved by a certain date.
Imagining an event or a presentation going well.
Right, notice she used the word imagining a presentation or an event going well. That's going to give me the clue that I would actually use a visioning technique here. So what I would probably say is, well, let's imagine it then. What's the date of the event that you want to imagine going well? And take yourself there. Imagine what will be happening. What does success look like? That's how I would get into a visioning there. Okay.
Improving customer service.
Improving customer service. Now, a little bit of a tricky one this. It could either be a SMART goal, it could be an umbrella goal. So before I know that, I'm going to ask a supplementary question. What do you mean by improving customer service?
I mean customer feedback being more positive.
That's going to be a SMART goal then, because we could measure the customer feedback on a scale or a ranking. Yeah. But if Natalie had said, I want for my charity or my community group to improve the service we give, I would then say, well, how are we going to measure that? And if we can get some feedback or quantitative data, it will be a SMART goal. But Natalie might have said, actually, I want to develop a brand new customer service strategy. Wow, that could be an umbrella goal. So always be confident and feel relaxed about just asking that supplementary question, what specifically do you mean, or how specifically will you measure that? And then the answer to that question will determine which type of goal it is. What's the next one?
Helping a friend or a relative or a colleague learn something.
Okay. Now, helping a friend, a colleague, a family member learn something. This can be a little bit of a trick question where a person wants to help another person, or even more than that, wants to do something for them, like get them to change a behaviour. The key question here is always focused on what is it that you can take personal responsibility for helping them with. So therefore the goal is something that in this case Natalie can take responsibility for. Let's suppose that somebody says, I want my partner to be more caring. You know, in other words, you want to change the behaviour of another person, or I want my son to tidy his bedroom. Right? You're wanting somebody else to do the action. So therefore, the question going back, what is it that you will take personal responsibility for doing in relation to that? A classic one is, I want my daughter to do well at school. I want her to get A stars in her exams. Well, presuming that your daughter is actually going to take the exam, the question is, what are you going to take responsibility for doing in order to help your daughter take or pass those exams? Okay, let's go for another one.
Getting fit.
Getting fit, okay. What question would you ask? I would ask, what do you mean by fit? So how will we measure that?
Measure it by how long you can run for or cycle for.
So that would be a SMART goal, yeah? Mm-hmm. But feeling fit could also be a qualitative goal. It might be on a scale of 1 to 10, how fit do you feel now physically? Where do you want to be in terms of that physical feeling? So it could be a qualitative goal, could be a SMART goal. Or actually fit could even be an umbrella goal, because under that you could have about achieving certain physical things. It could be a feeling, there could be a certain weight that you want to achieve. Have you got another?
Happiness.
Happiness. Right, now happiness could be either a qualitative goal because it's a feeling. So we could say, where do you feel now on a happiness scale of 1 to 10? Where do you want to feel by a certain date on a scale of 1 to 10? But I would always go a bit more specific and say, what do you mean happy? Happiness? Happiness in what?
In your job?
Right. So in a job, so I would use a 1 to 10 scale and do a qualitative goal. But if a person said, just happiness in life or happiness generally, you know that's a big thing. So what I would do then is I would use an umbrella goal called happiness in life and say, which chunks of life, right, do you want to focus on? And we would then break that down. So again, you're always using your toolkit that you've got as a coach, going, do I want to measure this in a quantity, something that will exist that doesn't exist at the moment? That's a SMART goal. A quality, use a 1 to 10 scale. An umbrella goal for a bigger project, or imagination, where you're helping the person to define a personal vision for what success is like. So those are the 4 goal defining techniques and tools. The key is to spot the clues and ask a supplementary question. What specifically do you mean by that, in case you need to clarify?